Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura, and I will be kicking off today's Waffle House case analysis on behalf of Team 2. First, we would like to thank Waffle House for being here this evening and the opportunity to perform a thorough strategic analysis of the organization. We enjoyed learning more about Waffle House and its history, as well as examining the internal and external factors that affect Waffle House today. With the results of our research and analyses, we composed an overarching list of concerns and developed a detailed action plan to enhance the success of Waffle House restaurants. Now I'll pass the presentation over to Arunya, who will cover our strategy.
So the next section is strategy. Waffle House follows a broad cost leadership strategy. Broad because it appeals to a wide population. Waffle House is a cost leader because it offers many items that are priced low, anywhere between $1 to $11. Being a cost leader, the ability to charge low prices and still make profit is challenging. However, Waffle House does so by emphasizing efficiency, keeping its menu simple, that saves the company R&D costs, and following a $0 advertising policy.
Thank you, Arunya. Let's explore the driving forces. There are four of them. The first one is changing customer preferences. The second is proliferation of information technology. The third is growth in fast casual restaurants. And the final one is compete on the basis of value. It is true that consumers today are reshaping the restaurant industry, particularly the millennials, which now account for a quarter of the population. Their ratio is predicted to grow to 40% over the next few years. It has been reported that millennials can eat an average of 4 times a week at fast casual restaurants, and this makes them the fastest growing consumer segment. There are four factors that drive the needs of this group. Millennials tend to be frugal but will pay for quality, environmentally and socially conscious, tech savvy, more open to new ideas and experiences, and finally, millennials tend to gravitate towards businesses that share and exhibit similar attitudes such as caring for the environment, locally farmed produce, sustainability, and other social causes. Now let's explore the key success factors. There are four key success factors in the fast casual restaurant industry. The first one is good experience. These restaurants seem to offer their consumers good experiences via a clean store, happy and helpful employees, and quick and accurate service. The second key success factor is high quality product. It's imperative to produce high quality food and drinks that consumers enjoy and keep them coming back for more. The next one is easily accessible location. Locations must be easily accessible by highways or major intersections. Some good examples include retail heavy areas, university towns, and business districts. The final success factor is marketing. Marketing is imperative in this competitive heavy industry. It also plays a key role in changing brand perception. Some good examples include targeted radio ads, commercials, signage, billboards, and finally social media. Now I'll turn it over to Arunya for the analysis of financials.
In this slide, we provide some of the important financial ratios for three companies, Cracker Barrel, IHOP, and Denny's, that we believe compete with Waffle House in the fast casual restaurant industry. We hope that providing this information, Waffle House could benchmark some of its financial numbers and compare them with similar operating restaurants. For example, IHOP demonstrates highest operating profit margin of greater than 24%, which shows the profitability of its current operations. The numbers and the financial ratios that have been provided here are merely for comparison and do not provide anything other than some financial comparing points of reference to Waffle House, and further evaluation and understanding may be required to have some comparison attributions.
For the sake of time, we're going to hone in on the top two areas of the SWOT analysis for each category, starting with strengths. Accessibility, Waffle House is open 24/7, 365. It's also a very well-known brand in the Southeast with recognizable signage. In terms of weaknesses, employee turnover rate is very high, and there's also a lack of marketing outside of social media. For opportunities, you can have strategic marketing campaigns affecting overall brand perception, and we can also revise the current retention plan. For threats, there is currently an inferior restaurant perception by the public, and there is a plethora of strong competitors with very similar offerings at a similar value.
After performing the SWOT analysis and the inputs received from the Waffle House executives, our team has come up with a list of 5 strategic concerns. One is a high employee turnover rate. The turnover rate for first year managers is 30%, and that of associates is 140%. Second is the general public perception that Waffle House is a second rate restaurant, which likely results in lost revenue and lack of brand loyalty. Third is that there is a lack of prestige associated with management careers, which can negatively impact the recruitment of college graduates for management opportunities. Fourth is the inferior to-go options in comparison to competitors. And fifth, the company is not an early adopter with respect to information technology. Information technology has helped transform businesses and allowed them to connect better with their customers. So these strategic concerns are addressed in the next section, which is the recommendations and implementation.
Recommendation number 1 is to implement strategic marketing campaigns. Our first campaign is an enhanced brand perception. We advise that Waffle House create ads that portray the restaurant as family friendly with a focus on high quality. We also recommend playing on the open kitchen concept by using the tagline, "Your kitchen away from home." Number 2 is special features. This campaign will be used to highlight special offerings such as BOGO deals or limited time holiday treats, making Waffle House seem like a more desirable dining destination. And number 3 is recruitment. We advise that the benefits of management careers be promoted to all college-age students, largely highlighting the succession path. A few ideas include partnering with universities to give guest lectures, flyers, email blasts, and sponsorships of business-related events. To implement this recommendation, we recommend hiring a strategic marketing agency that is skilled in the area of brand development, then designating a Waffle House employee to project manage the initiative. First, you will need to develop an RFP and submit this to top agencies of choice. A couple we recommend include Red Pepper and Catapult Marketing. We then recommend hiring this agency for at least a 6-month basis. This will allow you to maximize work without a long-term commitment. In terms of retainer pricing arrangement for agencies, this can vary from $2,000 to $8,000 per month, depending on the agency and the scope of work. If you estimated that the cost for a 6-month retainer arrangement were at the high end of $8,000, this would be $48,000 or approximately 0.005% of Waffle House annual revenue. As you can see, this recommendation knocks off concerns number 2 and 3 from our list of strategic concerns.
In order to deal with the turnover rate for managers in the first year, our team has come up with a recommendation to develop a revamped retention plan. This recommendation is approached in 2 parts. The first part deals with redesigning the total compensation package for unit managers. Because Waffle House loses close to a third of its managers in the first year, and these unit managers receive performance-based compensation, we see that this leads to employee burnout and potentially a turnover rate for unit managers. Because the salary of these unit managers is dependent on the sales of the restaurant and how well the restaurants are run, we recommend redesigning the total compensation package for unit managers to include a base pay of 15%. In that case, the performance-based compensation would be 75%. They should receive a quarterly bonus depending on peer reviews and the feedback from bosses in the range of 5%. They should have benefits included in their compensation package at 3.5%, and perks such as memberships to gymnasiums and spas at 1.5%. Now, redesigning this total compensation package would result in engaged employees who are more enthusiastic about their work, and because they have a lot of enthusiasm and creativity, they can influence other employees and provide feedbacks and ideas, and this would result in better customer experiences. The second part of our recommendation deals with increasing the number of unit managers from 1 to 2 per Waffle House restaurant. Because these restaurants operate 24/7, 365, and there is only one unit manager per restaurant, it creates a very stressful and demanding working condition for such managers who are forced to quit from their jobs due to such grueling working conditions. So therefore, we think that it is critical for Waffle House to increase the retention rate of managers owing to the high turnover costs that are associated. Um, Research suggests that the cost to replace an employee is one third of a new hire's annual salary. So if we consider the annual salary of a newly hired unit manager to be 45,000, the cost that Waffle House would incur to replace an employee or unit manager would be $15,000. Considering that there are 1,800 Waffle House restaurants nationwide and there is one unit manager per restaurant, we get 1,800 unit managers in total. The current unit manager attrition rate, as was provided by the Waffle House executives, is 30%, or that would account for 600 managers resigning from their position in the first year. Uh, so with the current attrition rate, we see that the turnover cost associated would be $9 million. Now, even if we reduce the attrition rate to 10%, the turnover costs would come down to 2.7 million from 9 million, and this would generate cost savings of 6.3 million, and these cost savings could be passed on to the salary for district managers who would now be responsible for more unit managers since we have increased the number of managers from 1 to 2. So this recommendation addresses the strategic concern of the high employee turnover rate. Now I pass it on to Laura, who is going to deal with our last recommendation.
Recommendation number 3 is an enhanced phone app and kiosk order stations. For the enhanced phone app, we recommend adding a payment functionality in which a QR code can be used and a built-in tip system so that the check can be paid right from the person's phone. For easy-to-go ordering, we recommend people being able to order their food and prepay for their food right from their app. Then they arrive at the store, skip the checkout line, and pick up their food and be on their way to go. And after observing the app and looking at the current reward system, we do feel like the rewards need to be a little more attainable and desirable to your consumer base. Thus, we recommend lowering the threshold to 50 points for most items and include an option for a free meal up to $10. For the kiosk order stations, we feel like these would be most beneficial in terms of aiding staffing issues in the event of turnover, illness, or emergency. If there are not enough servers on staff for the shift, customers can be directed to order at the kiosk. Then they can take a seat when one becomes available. We also recommend adding an algorithm to this kiosk station to determine the time to cook versus average seating availability. This is to properly set customer expectations and give them the option to take the food to go in the event that their food is ready before seating is available. To properly implement this plan, we recommend first starting with the current app vendor to build out the new functionalities. Then after that is complete, we'll move into phase 2, working likely with the same app vendor and utilizing a Waffle House project manager to oversee the kiosk development. First, we recommend to test this at a few stores, and then once successful, have a full rollout. And next, I'm going to pass this over to Arunya to cover financials for this recommendation.
So in order to estimate the cost of building a Waffle House application, we use an online tool, and the cost estimate is calculated depending on the functionality that we expect from the app. So for our case, we come up with a cost of $49,000 to build the application, in addition to which we have $10,000 or close to $10,000 for maintenance of the app. This slide deals with the cost of installing kiosk ordering stations in the restaurant. According to LA Times, the cost of installing one such kiosk is $5,000. Our team recommends installation of 2 of such kiosks per Waffle House restaurant. Again, our team recommends that Waffle House installs these ordering stations in 20 of its most popular locations. So the cost of installing 40 kiosks would be close to $200,000. Waffle House can then do a cost-benefit analysis in the first year and see how much sales have been improved because of such kiosk ordering stations. Even if Waffle House goes all out and installs these kiosk ordering stations in all of its Waffle House restaurants nationwide, we see that it would incur close to $18 million, and that accounts only for 1.74% of Waffle House's annual revenue. And these are just upfront costs, and we are very sure that such kiosk ordering stations would improve the sales of the Waffle House restaurants. So with this recommendation, we check the strategic concerns 4 and 5, and with all our 3 recommendations, we address all of the 5 strategic concerns on a list. So this brings us to the end of our presentation, and Team 2 thanks you all for the opportunity and appreciates your time. We'd be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.